felt like each one of these verses that he goes into, these separate kind of little universes, it's like what he would write between two train stops on an express train. You know, it's like, oh shit, put the pen away, don't lose your hat and get off the train.
Action! Welcome back, everybody, to the Rap Lizards podcast, the only show where two Jews and a Guyanese dude talk about hip-hop. It is I, Hot Benjamin, joined, as always, by the Belarus Bulldog, Gary, and the Guyanese Gladiator, Dion. What's up, my mans?
Hello. What's up, man?
I love that.
Mans. What's up, mans?
I haven't gone by that name in 20 years.
Oh, producer Nate sitting in today. What's up, Nate?
Hey. Snuff.
I love
Had
that.
to find that.
I thought he was going to snuff us.
Oh, shit. All right, welcome back.
Yep.
If you're just discovering us, we are a music celebration podcast. We are three old friends. We each take turns picking an album, almost always in hip-hop, that we love. And we sit down and pull it apart, dissect it, often get into weird debates because some of us whose names rhyme with Ken are very, very, very opinionated. But yeah, by and large, we just kind of celebrate the music we love here and kind of dive a little deeper than like, oh yeah, this is good. We really want to, we want to talk about why we love it so much. So this week, the pick was Dion's pick. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing my fly-ass Mitchell and Ness Mookie Wilson 1986 jersey.
It is fly.
Is because we're talking about the pride of Queens, the greatest thing to ever come out of Queens, possibly, besides me. Just
Possible.
Kidding. Just kidding. No, we're talking about Nas. We're talking about the album Godson, Dion's favorite Nas album, right, D?
I think it's my favorite Nas album. I mean, look, Illmatic is Illmatic, right? Illmatic is, I mean, it's gold. It's everything, right? Mm-hmm. But my personal favorite, I think it's got to be Godson. Although, it's funny, as I was listening to this, I kind of forgot about Life is Good and how fucking amazing of an album that is too.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother episode, right? Hopefully down the line. But yeah, Godson is tops for me. I mean, it's always been one of my all times. Like it's up there for me with like The Score, Food, or 36 Chambers, Midnight Marauders, When Disaster Strikes. Like these are like, to me, like just the albums I've grown up with. Mm-hmm. This album came out in 2002. We are seniors in high school, like formative years, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We'll get into it, but I feel like this album is pretty well balanced. It's kind of sectioned off in a way, and again, I'll talk about that in terms of like the subject matter for the songs and how we sort of group them throughout the album. It's not a very long album, song wise. I mean, I guess it's like average length, 14, but it's one of those things where like you get to the end, it's like, oh, I could do a couple more songs. This is fucking great. But yeah, heavy rotation for me in 2002 when this came out. And just like I can't wait to chat with you guys about this.
For sure, dude. Thank you for an excellent pick. And Gary, I know you so well, and I know that your taste tends to lean towards the out of the box thinkers. Some form of weirdness or humor to catch you in before you really start paying attention. You need like a hook. So I'm wondering, how did this, I'm sure you weren't overly familiar with this album. So how did this listening experience go for you?
There were a couple of anchors here that let me get into it pretty easily. One, it was really good. Overall, I mean, it's maybe a pretty thick way to characterize the album, but there were a couple of things in here that were familiar already, right? There were some really popular like hit songs from this album that kind of defined early 2000s hip hop. So I knew them, obviously, right? Who doesn't? I guess what are the major ones here? Like,
so I could tell you, there are three singles that came out of this. Major Look, I Can, and Get Down.
Get Down, yeah, right, exactly. And you start off the album with something like Get Down. And,
Oh my God.
So here's how I think of this album. It came out what, 2 years ish after Ill? No, this is years after Illmatic.
Illmatic was 94.
Yeah, so this is eight years after.
So this is after he's learned everything that or a lot of the things that he would learn from Illmatic, which I think was his first release, right? Which is mind-boggling. Like, here's a masterpiece of a piece of music that everybody will reference back to forever.
10 songs.
It's basically the Bible.
It's canon, right? It's the Bible.
Yeah.
It's canon, right? But
Absolutely.
then this is post that, and you have something like, as you said, Dion, it's more balanced, and it's something that's perfect for this project, for this discussion, because it's nuanced, right? It's not like it's not canon. It's not just like, here's from like God's mouth to your ears situation. It's here's an artist creating who has learned stuff, right? Who is like maybe creating not the most popular piece of work that they'll ever create, but like pretty freaking good, and at the height of their kind of creative ability, right? Like possibly. So I loved it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I got into I listened to the whole thing through several times and like didn't realize it was on loop and it was still jamming. Like, it was that good.
Yep. That happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
There's a lot to dig into here. I didn't realize that there were parallels or there were connections between like Nas's work and Tupac's work, and that like a lot of what Nas is talking about on this album is a reflection on Tupac's work. Which makes sense, right? It probably took a couple of years to digest, like another kind of creative, talent at your level that whose life got clipped short. Took a couple of years to process, and I think a lot of this album was actually about that, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know that was a thing. I just didn't know much about Nas, really.
Well, I agree with both of you guys on a lot of this. I will say, I think this album has some of the highest highs of Nas's career, lyrically and song. Like, some of the greatest shit he ever put out is on this album. But I also think there's some songs that I don't know that I don't love. I'll just say right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ben, you want to just get into it?
I'll just get it out.
Let's get into it.
Let me just get it out.
Get in.
So
Wait, actually, hold on. I could guess. I tease this. So it's one of a few.
Wait. So I told Dion like yesterday. I was like, I'm sure you could guess at least one song that made me really not happy. So go ahead, Dave.
My guess is that it's Hey Nas.
Okay, that's one of them. Yep.
Okay. My other, I have another. This is possible. Do you not like Mastermind?
No, I like Mastermind.
Okay. And this third guess, I'm hoping this isn't the case because I think the song is fucking fantastic.
Oh, you're probably right.
I Can.
Oh no, I love that song.
Okay, good. All right, thank God.
Okay.
I have a guess.
Yeah, good.
Is the last one Zone Out?
Okay, so there's three songs, and you guys got two of them. So Zone Out is just kind of like posse cuts where no insult to the guys on him. They're all way better at rapping than I ever will be. But like, it's a song I could do without. It's kind of just empty, like tough guy bars. Don't love it.
It's goon rap.
Yeah.
Goon rap, but also there could be great goon rap. Like, one of my picks in the near future is going to be goon rap of the highest level. But like, this is
Sean Price.
I know it will.
no, it's going to be. I'm not. Whatever.
All right.
But Sean Price is probably goon rap at the highest level.
Yeah, he was the king of goon rap.
But he had humor too. He had a lot of humor. Which Gary's gonna love Sean Price.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Okay.
But that being said, Thug's Mansion. Okay.
Interesting.
I have some thoughts about Thug Mansion.
So-
Go ahead.
Okay.
Dion, we've been over this. I want to reiterate. I personally feel whenever you take the work of someone who has died without that person's permission, without that person's collaboration, and you say featuring Tupac Shakur, right? Yes, I'm sure his estate signed off on it. I'm sure they got paid for this, whatever that song sold and streamed. But that being said, I personally think it is, whenever an artist does this, and plenty of my favorite artists have done it, Busta Rhymes recently did it with Old Dirty Bastard. I just personally, I think it's gross. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I think it's just like just leave their body of work as their body of work. They didn't agree to this. Tupac didn't say, yeah, man, I want to be on a song with you. Let's collaborate. You took a verse that Tupac never agreed and then you put it on your song. And even if the song is kind of fun to listen to, I feel gross listening to any time posthumous stuff comes out. I feel the same way with Biggie duets. I feel the same way with Biggie. What's the other one they put out after he died? Like Resurrection or not?
Yeah. Was it Resurrection?
It's fucked up to call it Resurrection.
Born Again.
Born Again, yeah.
It's messed up to call it Born Again too.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, well, but hold on.
Bastardization.
With Biggie specifically, that's because that's like the theme of his album names. I mean, Ready to Die, then Born Again, like that. That's
but it
why
wasn't their right. It wasn't.
That being said, yes,
right.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just wanted to flag that for a second.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You're right, man. You're right.
So that's all right.
It's on.
By the way, I said it. So Thug's Mansion. The song. I mean, we could break it down if you want. I'm all ears, but like that song kind of makes me feel gross. Just me.
Yo, Thug Mansion, man. And it's a beautiful concept. Like, you're like afterlife. It's like really melancholy. You reunite with your like lost people in the afterlife, and you're gonna hang out. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to a mansion where you're just gonna get wasted and chill and do it like basically just chilling and getting wasted.
Here's why this song is actually interesting to me, Gary. I think Nas and Tupac are both have completely different definitions of a thug mansion. So that's why I think we need to like sort of establish that before we even start talking about this song, because Tupac, his thug's mansion, he literally is talking about being in heaven with a whole bunch of very, very, very important and influential black people from the last several hundred years, right? Like that is heaven, right? That is the definition of heaven. Right. Nas, though, his definition of thug mansion is essentially, and this is what I was saying too before when you started talking about this, the way I interpret it is he's just saying, like in the hood, like in the ghetto, where it's like a lot of people, again, this is their lives, this is where they are. It's almost like a way of looking at it in a glorified way, because if you don't, then all of this is just depressing. So it's almost like he's saying, it's like, look, I'm stuck here. Like, there's almost no escape out, so I'm just gonna make the best of it. And you know what? Fuck it. This isn't hell. This is a mansion. This is a thug mansion. Like, I love this shit. Fuck that shit. Like, I love being on a corner.
It was like yes, he's talking about it from a way. Like, he's approaching it the same way in some ways that he approached Get Down. Right, because it's not a sampling situation, right? He's looking at this concept. He really likes this concept as an artist, right? And he's approaching it just differently. He's using the same core material in a lot of ways, right? But he's going to, it's more of a cover than it is like a sampling and a remake, right? It's like, here's a completely different take in some ways on this very interesting core material that's remaining, right?
Good point. Yep.
He's using real pieces of Get Down, the James Brown song, right? In Get Down, it's like that's the song, but it's not the same song at all, right? It's a very different song. It's a really good cover. I think this is the same kind of sitch.
So we're gonna spend a lot of time on Get Down.
Fine, let's go.
I fucking love that song. But I will say one more thing before we get that about Thug's Mansion is I had no issue with the concept, Gary. I thought Nas killed it, and obviously the original version is like so dope. I have no issue with concepts that aren't aligned with my concepts, right? I watch Scarface and I go, yo, Tony, like, why don't you just not sell cocaine? You know what I mean? But like, I love Scarface. So like, it's all entertainment. Like, I don't care about the concept.
Movie would be 5 minutes long if you decide that's a so dope.
I love that movie. I think it should be longer than 3 hours. But like,
hey, you got a lot of work to do. So he's like, all right, I guess we're on the clock. Credits.
Let me go back. I really love onions and octopus. Oh shit! But I do like. I don't mind not. as a song, it actually works. It's just the posthumous use of people's work always grosses me.
I can't argue that. That makes sense.
So like, it's interesting everyone's takes on Thug Mansion.
Can I fall down this rabbit hole even further a little bit?
Sure.
I mean, you are in front of a couple rabbits, so let's do it.
Yeah, you literally are in a rabbit hole right now.
So true. Look, there's another one.
Shit, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he's waiting for you. Look at this.
Oh, you got ears, bro.
All right.
I want to get into that song too.
Go.
And so let's break down some of the greatest songs ever. But I want to do a preamble to that. Okay. I stumbled upon this guy who wrote like a snippet about Nas. He has like a top 10 list.
Yeah.
And I just want to read what this guy wrote, and then I'll tell you where to find it. All right. Nas is number 4 on his top 5 of all time. And this is what he said. If he's not in your top 5, your opinion is wrong. One of the greatest lyricists in the history of music. Nas embodies rap excellence. It's hard to comprehend how someone can be complex, smooth, raw, humorous, aggressive, and inspirational all at once. The pictures he paints are so vivid that his songs feel lived in. He is one of the rare musicians to release a perfect album. Anyone who could find a flaw in Illmatic has lost their damn mind. Throughout his career, he has put out projects that hammer home all the points I just made. It Was Written, Stillmatic, Godson, Hip Hop Is Dead, Life Is Good, all dope. You guys know who wrote that?
I'm curious.
It was me.
Really?
Yeah, if you go to theraplizards.com and you check out my top 10 list, which, the top 10 is always morphing, but I'd say that the top 5 that are there don't really change much. Yeah, you could find some great small essays written on these gods of the microphone, including Nas. So what do you guys think? Was that guy?
I think that's excellently put. In
Yeah,
fact, like yeah, I gotta say, man, that's really, I thought it was gonna be someone like Talib Kweli or Peter Rosenberg or something like that. Like I didn't realize that. Like, so that's good. That's good. I can't argue that.
So that being said, the songs, his lyrics are so vivid they feel lived in. So let's talk about Get Down. All right. Gary alluded to it. That James Brown sample, just that, just like, it's mellow enough that it's not like this is not a banger, right? But it's also, it has just that loop of that James Brown song. It has like a danger to it. It has like this, like, something's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
you know
the
what?
Music is just like,
calling back to previous Rap Losers episode. Remember how like we go back to certain songs, certain albums, like you hear colors.
Yep.
Like I feel like Get Down, like I kind of hear red, or see red, which goes back to Ben. Exactly what you said, like danger. Like that's like I'm hearing. I'm like, yeah, this is great. You know that meme of Jay-Z. Like he's like on a street corner and he's like bobbing his head, but like he's looking up because like something bad is about to happen, but like he's still in his groove, like dancing. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't,
he has the side eye.
He has got the side eye. Yeah, like the whole point. Like people post this meme when it's like like something bad is about to happen, but like you're in your ways. Like what are you gonna do about it? All you gotta do is just just chill, calm down, and wait for it to happen, and just But that's kind of what you feel with this. It was like you're still bobbing your head because the fucking lyrics, the beat, like everything is dope. But like he's talking about some real shit, man.
It's a crimey beat. It feels like a crimey beat.
Yeah, and when you listen to the James Brown song, I don't think about crime. I don't think about it. It's like a funky, dope song. But the way motherfuckers get down in this song and just something about it, man. So each verse is its own
little mini story,
its own little story, and by the time you get to the courtroom in the first verse, everybody get down. It's like I could follow it to the T, right? And Nas, the only person I would say who's on Nas's in that world for me of like when he paints the picture, you're there is Ghostface Killer. I have the same experience when I listen to Ghostface tell a story, but you could almost smell the room. You could like, you know what I mean? Like you could see what he's saying, and you could almost like, it's like, you know, like when he talks about the courtroom, I'm thinking about the wooden fucking benches that people are sitting on, and like the smell of the room. Like it's so vivid, and it's not like overly meticulously described. It's just something about his lyrics are just, he there's no wasted energy. You're just, it's like everything that is said is it's just perfect.
Yeah, somehow between the lines he conveys the entire picture of the courtroom. I could see the sketch. I could hear the gavel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to me. This is a literary masterwork. You know what I mean? Like I think we spoke about it before the show, but Nas is heralded, like there's been articles by newspapers that are not hip hop, you know, journals, like they're literally just, you know, broad spectrum news that have named Nas the greatest lyricist, not in hip hop, but like of all time, like in the same category as like Bob Dylan and fucking
And
I can't argue it, man. Like I don't know, like he's just got.
I'll argue with whoever wants to argue that. Argue with them good and hard and win. So I was thinking of what is the right analogy for, like, this is Nas taking Get Down, which is the name of the original song, I think, right? The James Brown song?
It's the boss.
Oh, the boss. Okay, forget it. So he's taking a core part of the original song, and he's making the whole song around that concept, Get Down, right? He keeps coming back to it over and over again in the song. So it's like, clearly it was like a little like mental problem of how, like, I'm going to make the song. It's got to obviously be very different subject matter wise. Just it's a very different song than the other one. How's it going to go? And it's as different as the 1985 Scarface is from the 1930s Scarface. It's about it's a guy with a scar on his face. There's some kind of like last stand situation going on, you know, some crime situation, but that's about it. Everything else different, right? But that core thing is consistent and true, like throughout both. I think it's that level of like, I don't know, that level of reinvention was like that was a deliberate thing. It was not lazy, even in any way, shape, or form. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ben, you mentioned like, you know, and this is something we are continuing to talk about with Nas, like his ability to paint a picture, and also you said like he doesn't like sort of waste space. I think in Get Down, a perfect example is this set of bars. He goes, "I rolled with some Crips down to a Crenshaw funeral. Never saw so many men slaughtered, and I knew the whole responsible. The nigga still alive in the hospital. Midnight they crept in his room and shot the doctors too." That is a perfect set of bars that shows what you talk, because like again, like let's break it down, right? Like at least that last line, midnight.
Is that 2 bars? I think that's 2 bars, and he tells a whole story.
It's 4 technically, but he tells
He tells a whole story in 4 bars.
Exactly, but like even that last line, like midnight they crept in his room and shot the doctors too. Like most rappers would tell the whole thing. It's like they came in the room, they whipped out the guns, they shot the patient, they look over, they see the doctor. But Nas is like, yo, you don't need all that context. You assume. If they get into the room, you're assuming they're there to kill. So I'm just going to give you the extra information you may not know, that they shot the doctor too. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's part of the brilliance of how he writes, because he really does not waste words.
Yeah.
He doesn't go into an annoying level of detail, but he knows that the people listening to his music all saw the same Pacino movies. We all saw the same shit. We could all picture the same person creeping, you know, in the shadows. It's Al Pacino from Carlito's Way. It's that. It's from the poster, right? It's like we're all picturing the same shit. So he's just kind of calling our attention to this collective meme, right, that we have in our minds of like all these kind of crime movies from that era. I think that's part of what he's doing. It's very effective.
Yeah. For sure, Gary. And I don't know another rapper who could do that in 4 bars. That's a complete story, bro.
That's an entire story.
That's a book. That's a fucking novel in 4 bars. You know what I mean? And that is I don't know, man. That's what that was. You know, I revisit this album all the time. If it's not clear, I'm a massive Nas fan. And a few of his albums are some of my favorite albums ever made. And I revisit this all the time. But whenever I do revisit this album, I get chills. I literally, I'm like, like there are some moments on this album that I think are some of the highest of his career, and that Get Down is one of those songs.
I think, and I said it earlier, but I think, actually no, I don't think I said it on Wax in this episode yet, but I think this album contains two of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. I think Get Down is one of them. And I'll get to the other one right after this, but just one more thing about Get Down. Or a few more things. That trial, I think it actually is based on something real. He said, the story is based on a trial of two people. This is from Nas directly. Story is based on a trial of two people I knew who got locked up. Free High and Worm. Worm is the one who threw up the fist, and Free High grabbed the court officer's gun. This made it in the song because I saw him and his mom on the news while I was in the studio recording this song. I recognized his mom from elementary school because I went to school with his sister, and she used to be around. So yeah, this ain't just like a made up thing. This apparently is something that fucking happened. And also just the whole LA, like, you know, that second verse is like, you know, it's LA, right? Like that's him like fucking with his LA people. You notice that same 4 bars that I said earlier, the background music gets a little bit of that Dre kind of influence, you know, like do 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 do, like the San Andreas intro, you know what I mean? So I thought that was a really nice touch. Like, you're talking about LA, like in the background, you don't even realize, but listen to the song again. Right when he's talking about the Crenshaw funeral and everything, you hear that like classic Dre style music in your ear.
Yo, D, you just, oh man,
yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
I don't know if I'm rubbing off on you guys or if like this is just like so like whenever I hear him talk about the Crenshaw funeral, my ears perk up, and when I was listening this time, like, why do my ears always perk up? And I noticed underneath that classic producers, like the difference between a well-produced song and a song with a dope beat, right?
Sure.
A well-produced song, when they want to hammer home a point, they're going to switch it up. They're going to take what's underneath, and it's not going to be a drastic change. It's not going to be like all of a sudden they changed keys and the time signature. No, but there is a subtle switch, you know, and something else is happening.
There is a more drastic switch that happens early in this song too that I also think is dope. Right when he goes, "Soul music at the trunk of the car," that shit amazed me. That line, it breaks it, yeah. Yep. But like that, just how he does it is so fucking perfect. Like, he goes with the beat, "Soul music at the trunk of the car." That shit amazed me. And now you're in a whole nother beat, and then, and it's like the classic. Is that Funky Drummer?
It sounds like
everything is Funky Drummer. Everything is Funky Drummer.
Yeah. As we go,
as you guys taught me.
Actually, there's a good. Actually, you know what? This is a good sort of. I'm not going to transition because I do want to get to the other song I think is one of the greatest. But I discovered in this album there's another song, not Funky Drummer, that a lot of hip hop songs sample in terms of drum beats. I'm going to tease that because I can't. It's actually no. It's on I Can. It's on I Can. That drum beat from I Can is actually from. It's from "Impeach the President" by the Honey Drippers.
One of the most sampled.
Yep.
Yeah.
Top billing, unbelievable. There's over 800 songs this shit sampled from. So I thought, Funky Drummer is definitely one, but this is a whole nother one. Going back to what I think is one of the other greatest songs is "Made You Look." Made You Look.
So good.
Want to get into that?
Yeah, let's get into it. It's that was the hit, I think, of this campaign he was going on with
this or I Can. I feel like I Can might have been bigger,
but I think I Can came and went. I think I Can was his. It was kind of like his Hard Knock Life. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
exactly,
once Hard Knock Life came out, I feel like a lot of rappers had to have some kids like singing the hook. You know,
kids were highly employed during this time.
Let me just be clear. I fucking love I Can. I think it's a
fantastic
great song.
But they released it without a parental advisory sticker because they wanted kids to listen to it.
There you go.
When it was a single, yeah.
But that song kind of came and went, right? No one's talking about I Can these days. But Made You Look was like, I think that was the hit. That's the song.
That's like, yo, time out. Nas dropped a fucking banger, yo. Yep, the game has changed. The game has changed. Red alert.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the song I think about when I think about this album. So, talk about it, T.
It's it brings it back. Like in an interview, he goes, "I've done with R&B sounds, but at that point when I Made You Look came out, it was very R&B. I feel like I made I mean, you help, but this is not good grammar because this is a transcription from an interview, so it probably sounds better on the actual interview. He goes, it helped bring rap music back to the streets at a period, like at that period of time. He says, I remember the producer Salon Remy laughing, "Wait till everybody hears this," and it's true. I mean, it's
like anti-jiggy music.
Yeah, exactly. Also, funny enough, the follow-up question in that same interview, they asked, is this what gave you confidence that hip hop, or confidence to do Hip Hop Is Dead, the album? And he said, absolutely. Once this came out, and once it was so successful, he said, yeah, I just got to do more of this.
Oh wow! So that was like the prelude to not the theory, but the theme behind Hip Hop Is Dead, which was kind of like saying, everyone wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
Pretty
cool.
much.
That's cool. Great song, D. Great.
It just kicks so fucking hard.
It's just it's hard, dope bar. It's beats and rhymes and just like I love when a rapper raps the hook. This is just like a rap song. You can't.
It's a rap song. Yeah.
You can't call this anything but a fucking rap song, and such a good example. Just like a hard beat, hard rhymes. So dope. So unbelievably dope. I agree with you. Highlight of the album. One of my favorite songs on this album is "Carry the Cross." I think it's intense. I think it has it vibrates on a frequency that really no other Nas song vibrates on. It's like this march almost, and I think it's very unique and very impactful. Again, I'm Jewish and I'm Jew-ish. You know what I mean? Like ish. I don't know. But I don't care about. Like I could hear someone rap about another faith, music about other faiths doesn't bother me, but I think the song is very impactful and it always vibrates into my brain in a very strong way. So what do you got on that one, D?
I was gonna say first and foremost, it's funny that like later Kanye came out with Jesus Walks, and that's like from that moment on, like Kanye is now the unofficial Jesus of hip hop. But before that, it was not. I mean, it's funny. When I was
before that, it was Biggie, man. He was Brooklyn's Jesus.
That's true. It's funny. I didn't even put two and two together as I'm listening to this. I was like, oh yeah, he's self-proclaiming Jesus. Like he's trying to be the Jesus of hip hop. And then I took a step back and I'm like, oh, God's son. Right. Right. That makes sense. But Ben, yeah, do you know who produced this song?
Tell me.
You'd be surprised. A man by the name of Slim Shady. Marshall Mathers, Eminem. He produced this. This was recorded or mixed in Detroit.
The intensity, the momentum. Now it kind of makes sense, right? That kind of marching momentum.
I love Eminem so much as a rapper, and I've never been the hugest fan of his production.
Me neither. Yeah, his production is like,
but this shit is dope. This
Yeah.
is dope. I don't know, man. This song is like, I love a unique song. I never heard a rap song before or since that sounds like "Carry the Cross." And again, I don't. The lyrics are the lyrics, but like it's pretty.
Yeah, but even like look at the lyrics. He's doing the thing that he does so effectively here, where he's calling up imagery that everybody has baked into their collective mind, right? Everybody understands knows the story of Jesus Christ on the cross, and like most people know about the Virgin Mary and the virgin birth and all that stuff. So he's able to like just point to that very lightly with like a word or two, and all of a sudden we're all on the same page and we're all inside the same story. That's pretty cool.
And even not so lightly in the chorus, right? That chorus is like, that's quite a proclamation. Only someone of Nas's caliber can metaphorically compare himself in that way. I carry the cross. If Virgin Mary would have had an abortion, I'd still be carried on the chariots by stampede and horses.
So it's so fucking poetic. It's amazing.
It's poetic, but it's also like that's a level of braggadocious that like some people don't have access. Like some people will get their cards pulled if they say something like that. You know what I mean? Like that.
Ben, I was gonna say you said you haven't heard a song since, but I think the song I brought up before is exactly the song we've heard since. Jesus Walks. That's the only other song that's come out since that's like remotely close to like this kind of subject matter. This braggadocious. This
similar subject matter. It doesn't vibrate on the frequency that this one does. For me, it doesn't. It never. Jesus Walks is.
I love Jesus Walks. I love it as a song.
It's a good song, but it doesn't. It doesn't hit the same way this
one
does.
They're both high impact songs.
Yeah, this was this song never like it never popped past the album listeners. It wasn't a single. It wasn't something besides what Nas fans talk about.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I really do love it. I want to ask you guys something though, like switching it up a little bit, right? If we trace it back to, we did an episode on Royce 5'9", the allegory, kind of in the beginning of when we were starting to do this stuff. We're definitely going to cover more Royce because you guys know how I feel about his work. But you know, we talked about top 5, right? We had a little discussion about the top 5. We you know, I know that like one of us doesn't really view music in like lists and like doesn't categorize things as top 5 or whatever, but I want to bring it back up because I feel like we're circling back, and we've covered some other, you know, top 5ers out there, but this is a guy who I think if you like took everyone's top 5 list, like there are few rappers who made it as frequently to the top 5 as Nas, and he's definitely always has a home on my top 5. The maybe the number might go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, but it's always there. So is he, Dion? Is he on your top 5? And what are your, you know? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's similar to you, Ben. Like it's for me. He will always float in the top 5. Like I feel like I can't ever have like a top list of rappers and Nas is not in the top 5. And I'm not even talking like, oh yeah, but no, he could probably squeeze it to top 10 at least. I'm like, no. He like to me that's like, I mean, there's many differences between him and Jay-Z. But like Jay-Z, for example, is a person who like may at some point float around a top 5, but for me, like easily could be pushed back to within top 10 or even top 15. But Nas will have to be top 5. I think when I first made that, you know, the top 50 MCs list that everyone was doing like 3 years ago, whatever. At the time, and I think it's sort of floated around since then for me, but at the time I had Black Thought, Royce, Nas, Doom, and Biggie as in my top 5.
That's a hell of a fucking top 5, man.
It's a hell of a top 5. But I think that like I can't see a list where Nas exits that. I mean, just from his lyricism alone, his longevity, his relevance. Like I mean, yeah, it's just to me it's no question. But yeah, so from this list that I made a while ago, he's in 3rd place. But yeah, it's floating. It's floating.
So my list, if you on theraplizards.com, which I think I stand by these names, maybe you could rearrange them a little bit, but it's Busta, Nas, Black Thought, Doom, Royce. Royce is number 1, and he's been in my number 1 spot because I always say, if you can't out-rap the guy, then how are you going to say anyone's better than him? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be out-rapped. So, yeah, I'd say those are my names, but I might rearrange them a little bit, you know, here and there.
Ben, your image for Busta Rhymes that you included on our on the raplizards.com is he's like wearing like an ill dragon costume. He's staring at like a podium where he's like speaking to dragon people. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, is that from like Masked Singer or something? Is that what it is?
I don't know what it is, man. I think actually we got to shout out Nate. Nate is the guy who put our website really together, and I gave him the list, and he took care of the pictures.
Nate, you found this? What is this photo of Busta Rhymes? He looks like he's in Metalocalypse.
Right? Dion, we gotta post this photo.
It's from Masked Singer. It's from Masked Singer.
Wow.
He did Masked Singer. I will post that when we do this.
Get the hell out of here. What? Okay, I guess like the next episode suggestion is just gonna be Busta Rhymes' Masked Singer performance.
No, but so Gary, you know, I know that we're very different in this way, right? I like to catalog and rank and like say who's the best and what isn't the best and all this fucking, you know, I'm obsessed with this type of thinking.
Yeah.
Where are you at? First of all, where are you at in how you hold Nas compared to your other favorite MCs? And what are your thoughts on like just the nonsense of top 5?
Yeah, look, man, you got to organize your thoughts, and I think that's cool. You got to get organized, as we know, right? You got to get organized. Dude, I can't find a good "got to get organized" meme. All right, I've looked on like for gifs of like of the Scarface character from the movie.
We got to post that too.
Picking up the phone and putting down the phone, saying he's got to get organized. Just picking up the phone and putting it down over and over again while he's addled on drugs. Anyway,
he's blasted on cocaine.
You gotta get organized here, huh?
Anyway, so yeah, you got to get organized, but like these are individual pieces of art. They represent points in time of like, and in some cases, right, you find like, I'm not an art collector. I'm not a connoisseur of almost anything except like potato chips. But like the thing is like some things represent like the peak of a certain period of hip hop or a certain period of art, or like you look at like Picasso's paintings, like, oh, this is Picasso in his like cubic, it's not Cuban,
Blue.
It's not cubic, it's like cubist, whatever.
Cubist,
like people move between different phases of art, and there's different phases of hip hop, and here's like a prime example of like 2002 Nas, right?
Yeah.
And like Illmatic and is like one of the purest things that was ever created, but I think any artist or musician. So what do I think of Nas in the context of other musicians and rappers that I like admire and think are amazing artists? I mean, he's one of the purest out there. He puts out something that is so thoughtful and pure in that he has no wasted space on there. As we pointed out, like, Illmatic was 10 tracks, right? It's like, it's pure in the same way that 36 Chambers was pure. It's like, here's something that's, it's puro. Yeah. I mean, it's like divine inspiration almost, right? Like it's really not muddied with any bullshit at all. And I think that's how Nas rolls. At least in this part of his creative career. I actually didn't get into a lot of his other work. I've just heard his most popular stuff, including this, and it's amazing. It's unique in its perfection, I think. So I think it stands alone in that way. But I can't say like, oh, here's like Busta Rhymes, who I love to listen to, and there's like there's a Busta Rhymes I think listening mode for every mood that I'm in for like every year of my life, right? So I mean, kind of, right? But I can't say I could compare the two musicians, because even though they're in the same genre and might even have overlap and collaboration somewhere, but like they're just different, man. I don't know. So I can't rank them.
This is as close as we're going to get to your top 5 talk, and I love it. Like, I love it, right? I love your take on this, because it puts me, it adds perspective to my vision. Whenever I hear you not have my, like, this is how it is, like, it adds perspective to me, right? But you brought up something in this that I wasn't going to bring up, but I think let's try to talk about this, because it was something I was thinking about earlier in the week. Is it time to stop calling every rap song rap music? And at some point, like, I guess in the 80s, rock and roll became subgenres, right? There was new wave, there was punk, there was prog rock, there was hard rock, there was, hardcore, there, and the list goes on to the point where it is now, it's unlikely that a hardcore Rolling Stones fan is going to really like Imagine Dragons, because they're just different music. They're like not, you can't even call Imagine Dragons rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the rock umbrella,
sure,
but they're something else, they're pop rock, or I don't know.
Pop drummers. Basically.
Yeah, I don't really know. But so is it time, right? Hip hop's been around since 1979, right? Mm-hmm. Is it time to break, like, because I remember, if you ever listen to another one of our episodes, I give newer trap style people who kind of sing song mumble through their verses, I give it a hard time, right? I don't love it. It doesn't vibrate anywhere near my frequencies, and it kind of irritates me, and blah 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 blah. Is it time to just say, well, that's not this, and what can we call it, so that it's just like, because I don't listen to EDM music, but I do listen to old funk and disco, and both of them are dance music. So you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah, dude, I know, but like this is I hear you, Benny, but like this is a problem that's been solved like a lot in hip hop, especially for a long time. There's some whack shit and there's some really good shit. You're just referring to the whack shit, and we could argue about what's whack, and then we could get it. You know, we could diss each other.
So your take on it, Gary? Your take on it is that it's just hip hop, and some of it's good and some of it's bad. And that's it.
I'm gonna be I don't know, kind of one. I'm gonna show that I only listen to a narrow subset of music, but like there's trap, and then there's there's within the subgenre of trap music within hip hop. There are people that do it in a way that's really compelling to me, and there are people that do it in a way that doesn't really stand out, right? And even in the just sticking with Busta again, like in his last album, in the black version of it, or maybe the red version of it, he had
Super Deluxe.
In the Super Deluxe version, he released like his version of a trap song.
Yeah.
Right, and it was like that shit. That it made me shit my pants. It was, I mean, not really, but like basically it was like
Maybe.
This is the best thing. Like it blew the speakers off my car, and it was like the greatest thing I ever heard. And yet it was in the same genre and following the same basic rules as some of these songs that really don't stand out and don't seem like they have a lot of flavor. It's really like who's applying this lens, you know?
I think both of what you guys are saying is that can actually be true. Not to cop out, but like I think it is, Ben. It is fair to start trying to sort of subcategorize the different like hip hop genres as they are. But Gary, I don't think, and I think you kind of just sort of proved that too. Like not all trap music is garbage. Like not even close. Like I've, especially in the last few years, like Ben. I mean, I was. You know, like we obviously been talking about hip hop since we were kids, right? Mm-hmm. And growing up with it and everything. And you know, I feel like in like the mid 2000s, like 2010s or whatever, like up until that point, I was like completely with you. It was like, oh, this new wave shit is trash or whatever. But like more recently, the last like 5-6 or so years, like I've been finding value in a lot of these like new wave artists. Like I've always said, like Migos are fucking great. They're fucking great, but they're not the same genre. Like you're not gonna hear the same sounds that you are from like a Nas or a Jay-Z or an MF Doom. Obviously, like it is different, but like it's fucking dope. Like it is good music. So
call Migos? Can you call Migos rap music though? Like, is it
100%. It's just a different type of rap music. I think, like, because for example, like. And this goes back to even like like in the 80s, there was like almost like one type of rapping, right? There's one sort of genre until like Rakim came out, and it started rap. Yeah, and Ultramag, exactly. And then in like the late 80s, then you have gangsta rap coming out. People weren't rapping about fucking shooting people and killing people, at least not nearly as much as they were when like NWA and like Wu-Tang and folks like that came out. So like those are the genres. So it just kept like subgenring more and more and more. Then if you want to get into like little things like like horrorcore or like there are subgenres, but
pornocore.
Pornocore. Necro does both. But yeah, so just to wrap it up and put a bow on this, or at least my thoughts on this. Yeah, I think, Ben, it would be great if we could start sort of categorizing the different hip hop. But I think I by no means do I think that it's just all this new wave shit is whack and all the old school shit is the. I think it's different. It's nuanced, and I think it's worth a conversation. But
I agree with you. I just think we're at the point now where hip hop's been around long enough that it's like, if you listen to the radio and a station that's going to be playing Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones, they're most likely they're not going to be playing
Slipknot,
exactly, or Justin Bieber, right? Like, and I feel like Justin Bieber has as much to do with the Rolling Stones as Migos has to do with Nas. You know what I mean? So, like, I just feel like we're at the point now where I'm not saying this music shouldn't exist, but, like, a mathcore band knows that they're mathcore. Mathcore's pretty cool.
What the fuck is mathcore?
It's like hardcore, like, hard music, but, like, the time signatures are for, like, dorks, like 7/17.
Mathcore.
I don't know. I was thinking of, like, Blackalicious, Chemical Calisthenics. somehow going towards or alphabet aerobics. I'm not going that way.
Yeah, alphabet aerobics. But like, or they're perfect example. Alphabet aerobics. Are you gonna put that in the same category as like Nelly? It's getting hot in here. You know what I mean? Like, so like.
No, but they are still. But to come back to it, they both are still hip hop. They're both different types of hip hop. That's all. And which is what you're saying. You're not. I think you're not arguing that. You're just saying like, when are we gonna officially name these things different things? But they still all fall under the same umbrella. They still fall under the hip hop umbrella.
I think they all fall under music, but I think at some point, there's just sounds that are happening now that I just don't like, and then a piece of me goes, I'm a grumpy old man. I don't like new hip hop. What's wrong with me? And it's like, no, it's like not there. It shares no DNA.
I think it's the evolution. I think that because if I turn on Hot 97 or Power 105 right now, the chances of me hearing one of these new wave trap songs is pretty high. So I think what it is that's just what overall hip hop is kind of evolved into, and it's almost like boom bap is now the subgenre, and hip hop is what this is. I know it's painful to hear, but I think that's where we're at. I think that's what it is. I think it's just we've evolved now to where mainstream hip hop is just a totally different sound than what mainstream hip hop was 25 years ago. I think
we're gonna get to a point though, in the same way that like at least in New York, right? There's no such thing as rock radio or current rock radio anymore, right? You can hear the Foo Fighters when they drop a new album, and you're gonna hear Imagine Dragons. But rock, as a popular form of music, is gone. It's gone, and I think we're gonna, like they don't. There's no like rock stations only play classic rock now. There's no. At least for standard radio, right? And I think we're going to get to that point with hip hop where if we're, at some point we're going to just have Imagine Dragons.
But
Dragons of hip hop.
This is why the Rock the Bells Sirius XM radio station is one of my favorite fucking things in the world, because all it plays is and it's like it's not just old school. Yeah, but it's not even just like I've heard songs that were like from like 2010. But like the point is like it's rare that you'll find a song exactly within the last 10 years that has that sort of like new wave feel. Like you're gonna
same thing with Shade 4-5. They do the same.
Shade 4-5 plays a lot more new stuff, so that's the thing. Shade 4-5 is more like Hot 97 or Power 105. It's a little bit like they do tap into more of like the sort of golden age stuff too. But yeah, like I would definitely compare that to more like new school, because like that is the main hip hop station, or like the number one hip hop station on Sirius. If you want to hear some stuff that's not so new wave and some sort of the more classic stuff, then you automatically know to either go to Rock the Bells or The Groove or one of these other stations. But I think Shade 45 is closer to Hot 97. But still,
what about Dave Matthews Band Radio?
Is that a thing?
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
There's a Fish radio station on Sirius.
My joke just failed. I'm going back on mute.
No, you're good, Nate.
Nate, you're good.
You're good.
There probably is a Dave Matthews station. That's what makes Sirius XM great. I guess that's coming back to it. It's like, if you really want to hear that stuff, you just got to pay for it.
I think something happened at the last Dave concert that we were all at collectively that we have all blocked from our minds. That makes us.
I've never been to a Dave concert.
We all did like some self-harm together, and then like drank poison or something, and then woke up and then like decided never to talk about it again and forgot.
When is the last Dave Matthews concert you guys went to?
It's so.
I'll speak to my last Dave concert.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And my first concert ever.
Was that with me?
No, it wasn't, but it was The Roots opening for Santana, opening for Dave Matthews Band.
Come on, man. I was at that show.
I remember you guys telling me about that.
Nate,
yeah, I remember, yeah.
Come on. How are you going to do me like that? We were there together, bro.
Were we?
Yeah.
I thought I was... Okay.
Santana stole the show, Benny. Sorry.
No, The Roots actually stole the show on that one. That was one of the first of all, look at that lineup, Nate. You're so right. Like what a crazy first concert to go to. Yeah, The Roots, quite literally the greatest live rap act in the world.
Not even a question.
No, hands down. Then you get Santana, legend, guitar god, awesome music, and then Dave Matthews, who I probably haven't put on a Dave Matthews album in 10 years
because of that last time. Because of that last time we were all at the concert together.
Something happened, and we were like, can't talk about this stuff anymore. But they put on a great show, man. That's a great first concert. Yeah, for sure. So Gary, I just have to ask you, man. when I start asking these questions, right? Should we subgenre? Is it time? Blah. Where is hip hop going? Do you think I'm being just ridiculous?
No, Benny. No. I think that the subgenre thing is like, I think we're getting too specific here, because like it's just it's there is no I smile and nod because I think there is no organizing force. There is no the force that's like holding all this shit together, right? It's just people making art, right? So it's a little, I think that it's a little less organized and it's a little bit more ad hoc and chaotic than that. So it helps me to, especially since I don't know as much about music as some people here, right? But it helps me to enjoy the ride if I think about these things as individual pieces of art. And through this project, actually, through us talking about these things, I'm starting to think about, okay, so what was like Nas's creative headspace when he was doing this? What was this process like? What is the proximity to like the last great album that he created that he's like very known for, right? And like how has that influenced the headspace that he was in, or the creative process, or who he was working with, or the amount of clout that he had to be able to pull off the shit that he did, right? Like all of that stuff goes through my mind now. And it really forces me to look at it as one individual piece of art. So like plus the people that we follow from decade to decade that are prolific and keep making music, they dabble in each one of these genres. Right? Like they didn't just stick to like, like, hey, hello, I'm Johnny Cash and that's it. That's what I'm fucking doing. It's no,
hello,
like
I'm Johnny Cash.
These people evolved
for
from decade to decade, and Nas as well, right? Like you see this stuff evolve from even from his pretty recent work with Illmatic. So you got to look at it as individual things, I think, even if you miss the bigger picture.
Yeah, I wish I could walk a mile in your brain and shoes.
Ignorance is bliss, man.
I'm so incapable of just letting go when it comes to music. I think it's my problem. I always go back to it whenever I'm a grumpy complainer. Like it's my fucking problem. It's no one else's. I don't know why I just think so hard on this shit. But you mentioned Nas evolving, and I think it goes without question that to say like his last run these past 2 years has been incredible. Like his new albums have been so excellent.
The Hit Boy ones, right?
Yeah, and I think that's an example of how can you take modern sounds with boom bap, like these are modern sounds with boom bap approaches, let's call them. And they're not overly trap, right? They're like modern takes on boom bap.
You know what they are, Ben? The beats, and this is we chatted about this before too. The Hit Boy beats they're safe. They're safe. That's the thing, and that's my only sort of complaint about the more recent.
They're not like bunkers.
Yeah. They're not like they're not that. The beats aren't memorable. His rhyming's memorable because it's fucking Nas. He's never not gonna be the best rapper in the room, right? Like it's just not gonna happen. But like those like you're not gonna hear beats like you hear like like the get down beat or the cross beat. Like you're not gonna hear shit like that on these new albums. But the volume and the frequency that they're coming out is like Nas had a sort of quietly big year in 2021. Didn't he release like 3?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I just want to say his last one, not the King's Disease. What's the other one called?
That
was really good.
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember.
I thought that album was just so good. Let me find it. Hold on, because it would be foolish of me not to say it, right? Hold on.
Magic?
Magic. Yeah, I thought Magic was great, man. I thought it was a great album.
I gotta admittedly give that one more listen. I did like the initial listen, and I kind of forgot like all the details, but I do need to, I mean it's not, so I'm gonna listen.
Oh, could we talk about Book of Rhymes? Sorry. Could we just we might have to like reshape this, but let's talk about Book of Rhymes, man. That is, Gary brought it up earlier. This is one of those songs that like only, so the idea of it is pretty simple, right? Let me just go to the studio, right? Let me go to the studio with these old rhyme books and see, let's just throw a beat on and see what happens, right? But I don't think that's how, I think there was way more meticulous planning and execution to
Not as much
song.
as you may think, I don't think. But
really, you don't think he selected each one of those verses
Oh, going, yeah. No, okay, wait.
I don't think he was just flipping through.
No. I agree. No. Ben, I agree with you. That's not what I meant. What I meant was that I think the reality is that like he did come with like these are all rhymes that weren't like you could sort of tell like they're not really refined. They're kind of raw. They're kind of all over the place, but they still sound great. So to me that tells me that like this is like he did come to the studio with a rhyme book, but I feel like he did curate and pick out different sections and everything.
I felt like each one of these verses that he goes into, these separate kind of little universes, it's like what he would write between two train stops on an express train. You know, it's like it's
very
like
good,
it's
Gary.
that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh shit, put the pen away. Don't lose your hat and get off the train.
I just want to say, as a human who spent a solid 10 years writing rhymes, right? You guys know this. The listeners don't. I spent a long time meticulously writing rap songs and recording them on my laptop and then playing them for my friends. I don't know. You know, I have an addict's mind. So when I get into something, I do it at unhealthy levels. So I have somewhere 20 books of rhymes. And every once in a while, I'll pull them down and I'll read through them. So this...
very personal to you,
this song hits in a way that is like, whoa, man, because like sometimes I have the same experience. I go, oh wow, yeah, like I wrote that. You know what I mean? And then sometimes like, I can't believe I wrote this shit. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Right.
So like
exactly the way Nas talks about it.
He's like, that's whack. That's whack. I love that. It's such a cool concept for a song.
Those exact words, Ben, are what I have in my rhyme my notes for this. The first note I have for Book of Rhymes is such a dope concept for a song. Like it just is.
You can only do it once, right? No artist is gonna be like, oh no, I'm gonna do my Book of Rhymes. This is like a one-time only concept. That's what I love about Nas. He has these things that he gets to do once, and they're so left field. Rewind, exactly. No one else is ever gonna tell the story of a murder backwards.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So it's Nas gets to do these like one-time things, and he gets to hold that. He's like, nope, I wrote Book of Rhymes, motherfucker. Like, I recorded Book of Rhymes. You can't do Book of Rhymes. You know what I mean?
I could kind of see him in my mind's eye getting inspired, you know, to write something like Book of Rhymes, you know, because I see him in Belly, you know, and I see him performing, and when he's thinking about when he gets inspired, he's like, oh man. We gotta get together and we gotta go to Africa, you know. He just like gets really inspired about something. Oh, I'm gonna write this thing called Book of Rhymes.
Yo, Belly and Nas's every other piece of work that Nas ever did. Belly is you can't even. Belly's a great joke of a movie. No, but it's
also excellent. Also excellent.
It is excellent. It is excellent, but excellent in all the worst way. It's the same way that like Fast and Furious is excellent. Like, it's not good.
I don't know, man. I think like I'm still blown away by the aesthetic of Belly. Yes. The like how moments of acting in that just like capture you and suck you right in, right? And like yes, and I think DMX is so good that it could almost get past the point where you could like believe the scene with what Nas does too.
But Nas's acting is completely horrendous in that movie. Let's just call a spade. Nas, T-Boz, like their acting is on such a low level that I can't believe the movie got greenlit.
But it was a great movie. Like maybe I mean with those things as kind of important ingredients of it. I mean anyway, whatever. Like in all seriousness, I love watching that movie like in a not in the same way that we watch like Steven Seagal movies, you know? Like it's very good.
Yeah, it's like a Van Damme movie.
Although there is a DMX and Steven Seagal movie that was made not too long before.
Cradle to the Grave,
baby. Yeah. Cradle to the Grave.
Mm-hmm. Cradle to the Grave, baby.
Nas's acting was pretty bad in Belly, but DMX's acting was quite the opposite. I thought DMX was amazing.
I hope I didn't come up because I want you like I watch Belly all the time. I think Belly is actually an incredible piece of art, but like it's also kind of
love that movie.
has some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah.
So that, I mean, whatever.
and best in some ways.
And best,
yeah,
yeah,
and best
in some ways.
Book of Rhymes. The last verse in Book of Rhymes was, dude, I'm a new dad. Right now as we're recording this, and I'm looking at this, and I'm hearing this, and I'm thinking, these are my internal thoughts, put more eloquently by Nas, right? So he's saying, I'm so jealous of you. How come you're so beautiful, smelling fresh, youthful, intelligent, while I'm stressing and shit. Ayo, I envy you because all you do is smile and things come your way. Such an innocent child in what some say. I get upset because I just want to be treated the way you are, like a star, not a worry in the world thus far. But wait a minute, we both need your mother's attention. I may be crazy, jealous of my baby infant, kind of crazy. I mean,
bro, that is so deep.
So relatable.
And Gary,
too.
I didn't even think about you listening to this as a new dad. Yeah, that must have hit really, really home for you.
I mean, it's so fun. Like, I never thought I would be, jealous of my of Sarah's of my own baby, of Sarah's attention. But that's a thing. That's a new dad thing. There's a little bit of that, man. Of course. It's so funny that Nas captures it perfectly here. Is in between two train stops in his Book of Rhymes.
Wow, Gary, that's
so good.
That's
so
great.
good. What about when he says, "Gandhi was a fool"?
Yeah.
that verse, and you know what I love about that verse? That was like Nas on some hard gangster shit, whatever. And then later in the album, he references that lyric. He says, "How could I say Gandhi was a fool?" You know what I mean? Like that. That is some. This is just such a well executed album, man.
Alchemist, who produced the Book of Rhymes, revealed that it essentially happened how it sounds. Nas bringing several books of rhymes into a studio in Orlando, going through lyrics in them over the beat, which sample. So basically, this did happen as is. Again, I do think,
I'm sure
I agree.
They cut and pasted.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. What probably happened? Yeah, I mean, I don't know the process, but I do think it had to be somewhat curated, right? Like Nas comes across.
It's not the 3 consecutive songs in the book. He's like, oh, let's take the first 3.
Maybe it was a long session, right? Maybe it was like a long session where he was doing each one, and then they kind of.
That's what I was gonna say. That may be it, because there's several books of rhymes. So
wow, Book of Rhymes must have been like 1,000 bars long at the beginning before they cut it down. We got to get the director's cut.
Yeah, seriously,
raw files. Yeah, wow. I'm glad we took the time, honestly, and I'm sure there's so much more to talk about here, right? So that's what happens with this show. So D, you want to hop on it?
Yeah. So there's a few things. So the one song that we didn't really touch on that I at least wanted to just chat. Actually, two songs. But one is Dance, right? This is one of the most emotional hip hop songs I've ever heard. I gotta be honest, guys. Every time I hear this song, I get a little lump in my throat. Like you can literally hear Nas rapping through tears, right? You don't get that for a lot of mainstream hip hop artists when they're rapping, even when they're rapping about sad shit. Like they're not gonna be this vulnerable, right? And I feel like there's a level of vulnerability in this song that Nas just it was because his mother just died, and that's another thing about this album. There's more other songs that alluded to this because his mom had died 6 months prior, so that was fresh in his head. But he did feel that he had to get this in. But yeah, it's a beautiful song. That the cornet that you hear at the end, that's Oludara, who's Nas's dad, playing that. So it's almost like the two of them, two of their sort of tribute to his mom. Nate, I know you're out there somewhere. I know you had a couple of thoughts about this song. Feel free if you want to chime in. What do you think?
I don't think they were so much. I guess they were thoughts. Everything I think of is all right.
Nate's over there breathing ether or something.
I was listening to the album and when I came, I mean, Dance is it's Dance, right? Yeah, Dance is at Dance is at the end, and I really, being a horn player, I really liked the cornet. I did not know it was his father. I was trying to figure out what the sample was. Clearly, it's not a sample. But what came to my mind was just listening to when we were talking previously about Kanye's, what is it, Hey Mama?
Yeah, Hey Mama, yep.
Yeah, Hey Mama. And just similar to what you said, I know there was, I think you or Ben had described it really well of what Kanye was going through at the time and how it was an ode to his mama. But I think this.
Also, Tupac had a Dear Mama song.
Oh,
another parallel.
Two. Nate, I'll let you finish, but I just wanted to correct one thing real quick. The difference is when Tupac's "Dear Mama" song came out, his mom was still alive. When Kanye's "Hey Mama" song came out, his mom was still alive.
This was an ode.
This was an ode to Nas's mom who had just passed away. But that being said, Nate, you're still right. There's still tributes to their mothers. But yeah, I just want to
and I'm not saying Kanye's wasn't emotional, but I definitely, because when something like that happens, you're emotional, no question about it. But here, I could definitely feel that fighting back tears, what you were talking about.
You could hear it, man. It's like it's heartbreaking. It's what it is. Like it really is heartbreaking. Like the strain on his voice. It's just like it's a tough listen, but it's great. It's great, and I think it's one of the things that adds to the greatness of this album is like that's one of the sort of things I was talking about, the range and the sort of different types of songs and how it's like kind of sectioned off. I think if this song wasn't on this album, I wouldn't hold it in as high a regard, only because like this kind of like completes a circle, right? And it completes the album. Yeah.
I have nothing to add, D. I think you're absolutely right. Beautiful song. Beautiful song.
Nate, do you have anything else you want to add? I think what you stated was beautiful too. Let me know if you had anything else to add to that.
No, that's
fuck you then.
Yeah.
A couple other things to touch on, and I feel like we're in the wrap up portion, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't touch much on this, and we don't have to, but the song "Last Real Nigga Alive" tackles a few different things. One of which is he really gets into the Jay-Z beef, like really what started it, and but before this song, to me it was like almost kind of a mystery. But he breaks it down. Essentially, it's like, what is it, like Jay-Z wanted to be in one of his songs, and for whatever reason Nas couldn't get on the song or whatever album was coming out around that time, like in the mid '90s, and so basically like the beef kind of formed. I mean, it's more detailed than that, but I thought it did a great job of sort of explaining like his history with not only Jay-Z but also other hip hop artists. Like the fact that I didn't realize this either, that Raekwon and Biggie hated each other because
you didn't know that?
I didn't realize that because each thought they were biting each other's rhymes. Meanwhile, Nas is like, yo, I was biting for both of them. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought that was very cool.
I thought it was great.
Wait, guys, when we cover Cuban Links, I can't believe you guys. So like, there's a whole track. You know the angry rapper or the mad rapper skit?
Oh yeah. The
on,
skit. Yeah.
On what is it? Life After Death.
Yeah.
That's basically.
You're talking about the baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you're talking
Ghostface, and like because Ghostface went on a fucking tirade about biting and how.
Oh no! I'll tell you why. I'm mad. That was supposed to be.
Biggie was biting Nas. Really?
I didn't realize that. That's messed up.
Oh yeah. So Ghostface went on a tirade on Cuban Links, like assaulting Biggie for copying Nas.
I honestly haven't listened to Cuban Links in so fucking long, but I do want to cover.
We're gonna get there, man. Trust me, we're gonna get there.
But the other thing with that song, I think there's another prime example of that, like sort of painting a picture. And I know the whole rapping, painting the picture idea, like this was something we wanted to chat about. We didn't really section that off, but that's fine. It kind of naturally made its way into various conversations this episode. But one, I think, is these set of 4 bars. It was my version of the blues, dropping out schools. The crack epidemic had rap representing new rules, so I got in them shoes, tried them, wore them. Wasn't a perfect fit, so I couldn't sport them. Like that, right? That's a perfect example of painting the picture, because none of us have even a remote clue what it's like to have to sell crack or even consider selling crack, especially out of necessity. Like none of us know that, right?
Right.
But we've all tried on shoes we don't like, or shoes that didn't fit or whatever. So Nas perfect, like this is like in these 4 bars, again, like he tells a whole story of basically like, yeah, I got into it, but it really wasn't my thing. I decided to like sort of do more mainstream stuff. But the way he does it, like what's the word? He makes the audience relate by comparing it to trying on a pair of shoes that didn't fit, And like I just like
so good.
It's great. It's great.
So
and what was the other? Oh, and then I just also love the song Heaven. I don't think he's rapping in 3/4 time, but it sounds like he's rapping in 3/4 time.
Yeah, it's a weird. It has an interesting pattern for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I at least wanted to just mention that. Yes, that's the last song on the regular release of the album. I didn't really have any other thoughts about the song. It's a great song, but just the fact that like it grabs your ears just because of that sort of like weird rapping time pattern. I guess I could do my final thoughts too. Just in general, it's simple. I started this episode by saying I think this is one of the greatest albums of all time. It's one of my favorites. Look. We've said that many times before. Like, how many albums have I said? Oh, this is one of the greatest of all time. But like, look, there's just a lot of great albums. What can I say? It's not my fault.
That's why we spend time doing this.
That's how we spend time doing it. Exactly, Gary. It starts off with a bang. Like I mean, can you guys? And this is actually something I wish I did actually bring up before the episode. Can you guys recall any other albums that start off with this much of a fucking bang?
Oh, you're saying the first few songs?
The first song, just the first song. Get down.
I'm
not saying they don't exist. I guess I was more saying like, can you think of any other examples right now?
So, Bring the Ruckus.
Oh fuck yeah, of course.
Steve Biko or Biko.
Wait, but like these are the first songs on an album,
right? The intro to an album. Yeah. Things Done Changed.
Yeah. Again,
come on. There's a lot of
The
Watcher.
Let me rephrase.
What about The Watcher?
I didn't say that this was the only I'm with it. I was just saying I kind of wish I'd come up with that question before so we could think about it, because there are several. Let me make that clear. There are several, but like in going through my final thoughts now, I'm realizing shit, we should have chatted about this.
It's definitely one of the best opening songs.
Yeah, ever. It brings you in. So it starts off with a bang. By the middle, it sort of found this form as like a solid, great, cohesive album. I think the whole running theme of the entire album is just general empowerment. Whether it's something like Thug Mansion, like we were talking about before, of like just trying to. This is worth bringing up. Nate just brought up DMX's "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot." What was the first track on that actually? Was that
after the intro? It's Rough Riders.
Yeah, after the intro.
Yeah, it's Rough Riders anthem. Then fucking with D.
Fucking with D, hell yeah. That, oh my god, that's a great album.
So good, so good.
But the general theme of empowerment, from the Thug Mansion, putting yourself in an empowering situation, even though you're in a sort of shitty situation. The I Can song, obviously, just general. If you go back to the album and listen, like a lot of the theme and a lot of the lyrics are just like empowering Black youth, basically. I think that's fucking great. And then the other sort of sub theme is of course the respect and homage to his mom, who again recently passed away. So Dance isn't the only song. Again, if you go back, like there's several different like bars throughout the album where he's talking about it, and it's interesting because his album was clearly written while his mom was sick and then through her death. So there's certain bars where it's like she's obviously still alive but sick, and he's alluding to it, and then there's other bars and other songs where it's like it's after her death. So it's like it's interesting. Like he really, he loved his mom, obviously. But yeah, this was in heavy rotation back in 2002, and we were seniors in high school, going into college in 2003. I was definitely the Brooklyn kid in Indiana, blasting Nas and busting everything. But this is definitely one of the songs that was in heavy rotation. So glad I got to do this journey with y'all. Thanks for deep diving this shit with me, because this song meant a lot for me for the last 20 years. Guys, this album is 20 years old. Nas was 29 years old when he recorded this. That's fucking crazy. That's all I got for now. Ben, what's your sort of final send off?
Well, the first thing I'll say is whenever I listen to this album, I think about you, Dion. I'm just saying,
nice,
like
excellent.
Conversations, chilling with you, smoking blunts, like whatever it is, this album is associated to you in my brain always.
I feel honored. Thank you.
yeah, for sure.
Great album.
Let's put it like this. Nas is, we already spoke about all of the accolades, everything. Nas is GOAT status. If anyone says if I say who's your GOAT and they say Nas, I can't be like, oh, but what about, right? Nas deserves the crown. Anyone who says Nas is the GOAT, you're not going to get an argument from me. I'm not going to start talking about Royce if you're talking about Nas. At that point, I get it. Nas deserves all of the praise. Mm-hmm. But he released the perfect album, The Bible in Illmatic. Then he released another incredible album, It Was Written. And then...
The Talmud. Go on, please.
The Kabbalah. No. So like after those two incredible first two albums, there was this stretch of Nas releases where some of the talk was, did Nas fall off? Right? You had I Am, which had some hits and some really great songs, but in my opinion was not close to his best work. Then you had Nostradamus, which was like widely a critically panned album that doesn't have a lot of highlights on it, right? So when you get to Stillmatic, which was his comeback album, this big, like, Nas reemerged as Godzilla, which Stillmatic is probably my second favorite Nas album. This was the album after the big comeback, right? And I think what this album did was kind of like hammer it into the wall, like, no, motherfucker, I'm here and I'm here to stay. And it was like an exclamation point on his comeback. That's how I look at this album. And it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's in my, in the albums that I always go back to with Nas, it's Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, and this. These are like in my opinion, his four masterworks. And that's really, this album it hammers home everything that we say, that when the arguments are made for why Nas is the greatest lyricist of all time, look no further than this album for perfect examples of kind of like genius level writing and execution. I don't think we talked about that enough, and I will say his flow. He flows, I talk about this a lot. If you could, like, if there's a through line of all my favorite rappers, it might be that they flow like jazz musicians, and he flows like a fucking jazz musician.
Mob says, "Don't balk, my pump shot obliges. Every invitation to fight, you pump causes." That's a perfect. That's the flow. That's the flow. Like, that's it.
And it's what he does is he has a smoothness even when he's aggressive. There's a smooth wavelength to the he bops in the beat on like a very it's almost fluid. You know what I mean? He's never going to be he's like it's on that Rakim level of like
he's not in a rush. He's never in a rush.
No. He's not in a rush. And he's not kinetic. He's not Inspector Deck. Inspector Deck will come in, my awesome, a squadron surround the scram. Just like you're not going to get that out of Nas. He's a completely unique, smooth but technical flow. And that's it. I fucking love this album. I love it. Gary, what is your final thoughts and your pick for next episode?
Yeah. Well, I was Googling, Nas doesn't age just now because he doesn't age. He looks the same.
He looks 16.
He looks the same as he did when he released Illmatic. And what I found is a couple of things. One, apparently NAS could stand for no age statement, according to scotchaddict.com, which is about whiskey. And also, when I Googled pictures of Nas to just verify that he doesn't age and make sure I'm not lying, I get a lot of like very erotic looking photos of little Nas X coming up in the search. Just two things to keep in mind about that. For next time, what I'd like to get into is kind of some canon of ours, right? But because we've now, and we talk about this album often and quote it often, but because we've now been doing this project for as long as we have, and we've gotten better, or we've learned how to kind of get into some of the stuff behind the music, I'm very curious to talk about an Edon album with you guys. Let's do Primitive Plus, Edon's first album, and let's talk about that next time.
Wow.
Love it.
Fuck yes.
I wonder how much of our audience knows Edon.
Well, what I'm gonna say is, if you made it this far into our podcast, we first of all, we want to thank you. We want to salute you. You're probably like us. Like certain humans just really want to fucking dissect music in a way that others don't really care.
Or you're planning to kill one of us.
Right, you're trying to figure out how to.
When do they leave the house?
No, but that being said, if you did make it this far, and you don't know who Edon is, I'd say if you're a fan of just lyricism and humor, go listen to Primitive Plus by Dion.
Such a fun listen. Just such a fun listen. That's
so fun and so technical at the same time. And we're gonna really break the. Thank you, Gary. We're gonna break this one down for sure.
This one's a masterpiece as well.
I want to just say also, if you found us on YouTube and you want to hit that subscribe button and like this video, it actually, it's more than just, we like being liked, trust me. But it's, it's more than that. What it does is it helps other people like you find us. The algorithm is not in our favor. But if the more likes, the more subscribes, the more likely that someone else like you will find us.
Exactly.
Which makes it fun for us. Which makes it fun for us.
Right.
We actually we're tickled pink every time. There's something that we notice where somebody that we don't know in our close circle of homies that's talking about this stuff that gets some benefit from this conversation we're having.
Yeah, we happen to G-chat like, yo, you guys see that comment? Yeah, we got a fan.
Yeah,
so, we love that.
Right. If you leave a comment. Shit, it means like we must have done something right. So thank you, and we encourage that. So,
and if you leave a comment, we will respond.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll at least like your comment.
We'll try to respond. I want to thank the Red Walrus, our man Fred, for the instrumental music that we always use. Check him out on Bandcamp. You can download his music, and if you do, you'd be supporting, giving some dough to a great artist. I want to thank Nate, as always. You help us out so much, man. Best producer we could ask for. And I want to just say, Rap Lizard signing off.
Peace.